everybody. This is amazing. What an awesome turnout. There's some Democrat protesters outside, which is great because they should be out, registering people to vote, and now they're wasting their time protesting us. God bless America. Actually, that's what they have a lot in common with my opponent, Kirsten Sinema, right? She's a protester. I'm not sure if she's out there with them. But anyway, look, we are 45 days away from Election Day. But Election Day starts in 18 days. Right? People start to walk in and early vote. People 3 weekends from now will be sitting down and filling out their early ballots. We are down to the final sprint for this high stakes, high consequence election up and down the ballot, okay? For our race, for the Senate race, and we're all in this together. We got to get all Republicans up and down the ballot elected. But for our race, Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, we can keep naming them all. They know that I am literally the firewall to make sure we keep the Senate majority, okay? They know that, okay? And that's why, you've already seen, George Soros and others, they're dumping millions of dollars on my head, right? But I'm a warrior. I've been in combat, all right? And we got to make sure that we fight this thing through. Because I think we'll grow the Senate majority, but they know if there's any chance for them to flip it, it goes through Arizona. And we are not going to let that happen. Right? And as you guys know, look, I've given my life in service to our country. Where are all our veterans here? Raise your hands. You guys are awesome. God bless you all. God bless you all. We took an oath of office. We care about our country. We all have our core values, different services in the Air Force. It's service before self, excellence in all we do, integrity first. These are the values we need now in the Senate, more than ever, right? And look, that is what I give my life to since I left home at the age of 18 to go to basic training at the Air Force Academy. In contrast, I'm running against somebody who spent time organizing protests and protesting our troops in a pink tutu. You've seen that ad, right? Right? So people are going to have a choice. And look, that's what the elections are about, is to make sure that her Hollywood cinema production of her completely trying to walk away from her extreme radical past, but we know what's in her heart, right? As a Green Party activist running Ralph Nader's campaign, calling herself a proud Prada socialist, organizing multiple protests. She's a professional protest leader, okay? That's what she gave her life to in her past. But, she's an ambitious career politician, and she's trying to reinvent herself. And she's put millions of dollars in TV ads trying to confuse and convince Arizona that she is one of us. And that she is in step with Arizona Bell. She is not, okay? No. And so this is the contrast that people need to be aware of. Some people have asked me, hey, why are you putting up a negative ad? It's not a negative ad. It's a public service announcement. Yeah! But the people need to know. The people need to know that she's, saying, I support, the people need to know that she was organizing protests in a pink tutu. And have you seen the latest? CNN broke this story, okay? CNN broke this story, hardly a conservative outlet. That one of the protests she had some flyers that depicted our troops as skeletons and said, "Stop the U.S. terror in the Middle East." As if we veterans, that we're the terrorists. Right? This is the extreme radical nature of my opponent. We've only had 11 senators in Arizona's history. This is going to be our 12th. And we all together need to make sure that she is not our next senator. Okay? She is not our next senator. Right? Now there's all sorts of other, when it really, really matters, right? When it really matters, I'm working with President Trump to cut our taxes, to roll back regulations, to build the wall, to secure the border, to rebuild our military, to support our veterans, right? So the contrasts are clear. Every time we have a consequential vote, even in her revamped, reinvented Hollywood cinema self, she still puts on her Nancy Pelosi jersey every time it matters, okay? Now, some of the media just lets her get away with that, so we're the ones that got to get that message out, right? We got to get that message out to voters. We got to get it out to Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, right? We got to fight for every last vote. I won my first race by 167 votes, you guys. Whoa. That's after I lost the first race I ran. I went to freshman orientation. I thought I had won. I photobombed the freshman photo. And I counted more ballots for 14 days, and I ended up having to come home and concede the race. So we know how to fight and win for every last vote, okay? And that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a turnout election for us. And Arizona is a red state. Yes. The left is on fire right now in resistance, right? It's extreme against this president, right? We've got to get Republicans to wake up, to know what the stakes are for the future of our country. You want to keep going? How do you feel about the last 2 years? You guys feeling good?
Yeah!
We have so much more to do. We have so much more to do. So we've got to make sure that Republicans, especially those who are registered Republicans, maybe they don't often vote in midterm elections, or independents who usually vote to us, ask them, you like more money in your paycheck?
Yes.
You like what we're doing with the economy?
Yes.
Look what, I mean, this economic agenda working with President Trump is awesome. We have more job openings now than people that are looking for work. Right? So we have got to keep the economy going. And afterburner, we have shown that conservative values and conservative policies work.
We don't want MS-13 back.
Yeah, and look, I chair the Border Security Subcommittee. I am always over in the White House working with President Trump on border security, whether it's sanctuary cities, MS-13 roundtables. He invites me over all the time on these consequential issues. I represent 80 miles of the border right now in Congress. Only 9 members of Congress do. Kirsten Sinema is so out of touch and extreme on these issues. She voted to support sanctuary cities over American citizens. She voted to cut ICE. She was protesting the creation of the Department of Homeland Security. We have so much material, we don't have enough time to talk about it, okay? So the contrast is clear. The stakes are high for our state and for our country. And we have got to make sure that we win this seat. But we are down to the final fight here. So we're having a great rally here today, but it's up to all of us to get out there, to our neighborhoods, to our friends, our neighbors at work, on Facebook, whatever it is. Yard signs, bumper stickers. We got to fight for every last vote. Okay, we don't want to be thinking about this the day after going, oh man, if we had just only done it. You never want to be thinking, if we just only done more. Let's do more now.
Yes.
Let's do more now, okay? Let's do more now. And let's show that up and down the ballot, we're going to get Republicans elected, right? And we are going to make sure that we keep Arizona red, right? And I would be absolutely honored to represent all of you in the United States Senate. Let's go get this mission done, and let's fight and win. God bless you all. God bless Arizona.